on, beloved? What's going on, beloved? Excellent live, man. Good live. Look, I'll wait no 5 minutes. I like to keep in practice for when if I get monetized. What's going on? Good live, man. Valentine, I watch a lot. I've been watching this stuff for a long time. Though, my thing is to show people, this got to change about people. People think there's some kind of competition. They've got to listen to everybody. It doesn't whether. I will always let a person know we're not Moors. But regardless of how the information comes across, there were those who identified after the 1900s. 1870s, nobody running around calling themselves Moors. It's made up history. That separates the original people from the history of being great seafarers. And I'm not going to sit there and debate it because I actually have literacy. And like I said, my uncles, great uncles, Tandy and C, I wanted people to hear a question that might be of substance, There are up to 378 treaties signed with our people, indigenous, autochthonous people of North America. So, and it wasn't even called America at the time, it was the Republic of Africa. But they call America, they got to change everything. In order to usurp the people and change the narrative, because new generations with older people dying off, they'll accept the new names and terms. And we see that even before our eyes with 2 or 3 generations. I do. I've seen it with 4 generations. So I figured that would be important. And I knew which way he would go because I already heard some of his stuff. It's good stuff. It's always, no matter, the questions are important and the answers. I don't believe we should always be attacking. We have to level up and be able to discuss. Now, some people, when they do a lot of things, per se in the literacy world, as far as what the enemy has hijacked, well, that can give you an ego. And the knowledge, you can hold on to it with a vice. First of all, the Revolutionary War never happened. I wasn't going to sit there and stomp him in the foot with it. It didn't happen. Not the way it was written. It was us, again, fighting back the British. And we kept succeeding until certain people came behind the lines, painted themselves up, and betrayed a lot of individuals by burning ships with them on it. A lot of things were really bad. Uncle 10 and Uncle C, 114, 115. They always said that they were 130 and 40 years old. Who am I to believe? My aunt and them was all young and my, young and, they're just 115. But they already accepted a lot of the narratives painted before them. And they used to say, no, we're about 130, 140. We knew people over 200 years old. Who do I believe? I believe them. But I say 214, 15 just for the stigma. They taught us a lot of stuff. I don't have memory loss and Alzheimer's and all that crap. It's always been with me. Why? Because I always talked about it. Because I didn't hear nobody else talking about it, and I wanted to know why. Not everybody got to meet people like I did. And my grandmother said, I can't believe you remember everything they said. I was like, how can you forget? She says, well, a lot of us attempted to forget the old world. I say Tartary, I got my ass whooped. Miss Visco, a Sicilian woman, dark, beautiful. She's like, what is that? I said, well, this is the old world, what they say, with dinosaurs, well, at least large animals. I remember saying this. And all these, Ali Green, all these people around me, Henry Galasco, all these people, Ali. And then she said, what is this? Well, this is like the Jetsons. And she said, what is that? That's Tartary. She says, would you like to do a mural? I said, I can graft it. She says, from inches to foot. She taught me that. And so I grafted from inches to foot all the pictures that I drew, like graffiti, before graffiti was really a whole name. And I put it on the wall in Nishiwayne Elementary before I went to, Mount Hebron, Buzz Aldrin. A lot of people get snatched up. I had Masons in my family. And they attempted to hold on to the truth of history. That's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe you have to attack and ridicule people. I wasn't going to call in. But I was like, for the benefit of the channel, I said I'll ask a couple of questions. And see his continents. It's not to argue. See, our people are so quick to want to argue and then defend a person's side they choose. We have to break that stigma. We're supposed to be able to, I remember people sitting down having a conversation, whether they agreed or disagreed. And sometimes when the people disagreed, they would turn around and go, check out what I found out. So you were pretty much right. Hey, Joe, what's going on, Slew? Like Wale name. And Chuck the High, if you're here, when I say hi to everybody, it means everybody. I don't like all that texting and typing. Y'all like that stuff. I say hi, it's to everybody. I appreciate people that calls my name out. It's not energy because I can't hear your vibration. So on the text, it matters to me not. Salute to everybody. It's a wonderful thing. I love to see it. But I say, my beautiful family, uwoduhi, sidanelv. That's all it is. I'm not emotional. Like I stated early on in the other video. I just don't have, it's not about time. I just don't have the emotions bound to this stuff. We have to stop fighting, regardless. And even though you'll hear me say, oh, that more shit, that's because I'm driving a nail home. I want somebody to debate me. And some people will attempt to debate me. It's happened in the past. With all this made up knowledge. Just because it's written down don't mean it's right. If I talk to somebody who was alive in the 40s, maybe 30s, you're not going to come here and tell me something, somebody I met in 1969 and 70s, you're not going to come here and tell me otherwise. It's just not going to happen. Not at all. You can say all you want. And they didn't eat what everybody they were taught. They were the description of our doctrineless people. So I loved it. It was a great live. Hey, Sue, what's going on, D? What's going on, beloved? D Chief. And I was like, damn it, notifications were off. So I said, let me go on the messages. And oh, damn. West Side. And I said, oh, shit. I was like, oh, yeah, Valentine. Let me go on and see what's cracking. So I probably got in a little late. Well, I actually didn't say nothing for the first 10 minutes I was in there. 10 or 15 minutes. I was just, Okay. There was Valentine. Okay. Westside asked some pretty decent questions. You can see somebody when they get a little side on the Zionist, Nazi Zionist twitches. It's a fact. Even though Zionism is a construct that has nothing to do with the Ashkenazis. I was going to ask them, so what do you think about the Ashkenazis being a Yaphetic people? As far as the dichotomy of religion. But I chose not to ask. I even had rebuttals to some of the things he said. And I says, I'm not here for that. Because I can see people edgy. And some people have their beliefs about the time. Maybe rightfully. I just believe that it's great to have people who talk about the unification. Y'all know I'd say there are many Palestinians who are our people. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. It's reality. It's called science for you people who think otherwise. And it's a fact. The problem is we do need to segregate. And as I stated, if you don't have black and Negro on your birth certificate, I don't want nothing to do with you. Now, yes, we know the secret little government can formulate a lot of them. Okay? Doesn't matter. You can tell. I was going to extrapolate on that. With the information that is privy to me personally. That means live. And I said, no. And I could see that Westside made a comment, so he wanted to wind it down because they couldn't keep the brother all day. He is moving and doing his things. And I actually attempted to call first at 800 number, and that was his. It was no ringing or nothing. So I was like, I'm going to call Westside. So, I'm going to get up here and ask a couple questions, and for the sake of y'all, just to see that you can compose yourself. It's not about rah, and because of what you believe you know. It's about communicate. And that's something a lot of us lack. We need to have communicate. It doesn't matter about, and that's why we say it doesn't matter about your feelings. Put your feelings aside until you learn how to actually control them. And then when you control them, then you start looking at things differently. You don't have to believe me. That's my opinion. Okay? So let's go ahead. I wanted to read these 3 books. I'm not going to read the other book. I was reading it, and I was like, nope, that book goes with those 2 right there. And that's what happens. It just happens like that. I was like, some good stuff. I was going to read this book, and I was like, nope, that goes with them too. It's just because, when you read a lot, you see where pieces and stuff. Because this is one of the books that came from our brother, and I never read this book. I've seen it. The other one I have a PDF, Ancient and Modern Britons. I like get right in stuff, and I already know what's in there, so I love to have it contextually. But the other one, I was like, that goes with those two books right there. It was automatic. This is, when you read a lot, you know it goes with what. Even if there's no references or sources relating to that manuscript, it's good to be able to see those things. So we're going to read Gods of Eden, Anunnaki, and just short. We're not going to keep it long, guys, okay? Trust me, I'm not going to keep it long at all. Okay. So the Gods of Eden, William Brownlee. We're going to get into it. Excuse me, I'll go to the tab. Read a few paragraphs just to reiterate. Excellent live, though, Westside. Beloved, it was an excellent live. I really appreciate that. What did Trauma act? Because mine's kept, the internet over here is acting a fool. I'm not even on the internet now because it would be going on and off. Like I said, there's something interfering. There's something going on. I don't know what, but we just had a lot of rain, like come and hit like a torrential storm, and now it's gone. So let's go ahead and read this over. Now, Mesopotamian tablets tell a creation story in which a god is put to death by other gods. And it does. Okay? Excuse me. And the body and blood are then mixed into clay. Out of this concoction, a human being is made. Now, the new earth creature is very similar in appearance to its custodial creatures. Now, we already read a little small part of this back in the last part when we first started reading this. Let's reiterate. Okay? Mesopotamian tablets, Mesopotamia, okay? If you want to think about Tyria or Tyrus and the other different names, Phoenicians, Grecians, all related to a certain period of time. Okay? Tablets tell a creation story in which a god is put to death by other gods, right? So we allude that. And it's similar to the custodial appearances. Remember we was reading that book, Custodian, right? Of Time? Remember? He looked like them. Okay. In his book, The 12th Planet, author Zechariah Sitchin exhaustively analyzes the Sumerian creation stories. He concludes that the tale of a god's body being mixed with clay may have referred to biological engineering. And we saw that in that movie, Prometheus. Remember, the guy came, drank the stuff, that black stuff, and body breaks down in the water and mixes with the marine life and the sediment. Then up comes the tadpole and all that, whatever. Okay? Just to give you have a mental perception. Okay? Excuse me. Here we go. All right, anyway. The Sumerian creation stories. He concludes that the tale of God's body mixed with the clay may have referred to biological engineering. Mr. Sitchin supports his surprising conclusion by pointing to those Sumerian tablets which state that the first humans were bred in the wombs of female as custodial gods. According to the tablets, custodians had male and female bodies, and they bred by sexual intercourse. In fact, ancient Mesopotamians, okay, stated that they provided ruling custodial gods with human prostitutes. Oldest profession in the world. Mr. Sitchin believes that the clay was a special substance that could be inserted into a custodial womb. That substance held the genetically engineered cells of the new slave creature, Homo sapiens. Now, humans could apparently be bred in that fashion because they were physically very similar to custodians. So, if that were the case, then that would allude away from the fact that we have a source, a soul, or a spirit. Do you see the dynamics and how being able to read and then to put some things to rest? All right. Interestingly, modern scientists have bred animals in a similar fashion, such as a zebra in the womb of a horse. Ancient Mesopotamian tablets credit one god in particular with supervising the genetic manufacturing of Homo sapiens, and that god's name was Ea. But who did they really create? Not us. I have other material that will allude to that. Anyway, Ea was reported to be the son of a custodial king who was said to rule another planet within the far-flung custodial empire. Far-flung. Skip rock, mind you. Pay attention. Okay? Anyway, Prince Ea was known by the title Enki, which means Lord or Prince of Earth. Ancient Sumerian texts reveal that Ea's title was not entirely accurate because Ea is said to have lost his dominion over major portions of earth realms. False god. To his half-brother Enlil during one of the innumerable rivalries and intrigues that seem to forever preoccupy custodial rulers. Now, if I would have spoken on some of these narratives to him, he would have went off into the Egyptian tier, which would be totally and utterly incorrect and with a lot of disregard. And that I wouldn't argue. I would just let him state his case, and I would further on by naming certain books or references to sources. Okay? And that's how you deal with things like that. You don't sit there because you think you know it. I could be wrong on some things. And when I already know everything that he knows and a whole lot more, it's not a tug of war. That is a battle like, how do you say it? Abel and Cain before leaving the womb. And that's not what we need. Do you see what I'm talking about? I do all that rah, rah, rah. A lot of times it's strike emotions, it's to drive people, it's to see where they stand. And I'm seeing more often a few individuals, so-called men, show their effeminate emotional side. That's not because it's perverse, because we need to hold each other accountable and say, look, you're carrying yourself this way and you need to stop. Because some motherfuckers think they're badasses. That's why I go that route. Because you know what? I can thump pretty fucking well. And I always say, meaning you want to test it, you can fucking test it. Reptilians in the head, because we need to sometimes break a motherfucker down. It's a little down a fucking horse. It's not with hate. It's just the fucking way it is. Some people are designed for purposes, while other people don't even know what they were designed for. Reptilians in the history of humankind, Anunnaki, Henry Crane. You know who that motherfucker is, okay? Let's go ahead and get a couple paragraphs in here. Somebody said, well, you talking a lot of violence lately. You are living in a violence. You're living in fucking Jannah. And I know your thoughts are irrational. No matter how rational you think they are. And sometimes that is just the mark. People say, oh, well, you alpha and sigma. I used to always say sigma to taunt people. Motherfucker, I'm masculine male or man. That's it. I don't know about all that shit, even though I throw that out there. You know, it's like casting a line with the proper hook and sinker. All right. The Pleiadians, having seen the killing and suffering the humans had done, could not tolerate it anymore, since they knew they were being manipulated by the Anunnaki. So they decided to put on work, all right, the plan to expel definitely the Anunnaki and Draconians from Earth. They and the extraterrestrials activated hundreds of antennas they had installed in the Abzu and started to produce low-frequency electromagnetic waves from the moon to the Earth, with the sole purpose that this would make it vibrate at an increasingly dense frequency, so high that for the Anunnaki and any extraterrestrial race would be impossible to tolerate. Now, I want to ask y'all, who do you think the Draconians are to the Anunnaki? Could it be the custodians? Abzu is in more relation to what? Aethriel, after the fall of Egypt, right? Egypt was a takeover after the fall of Atlantis. Great weapons using Aethriel, and people were mentally and spiritually more inclined, though slipping into a deep state. There's enough books alluding to that, and we'll get to them in the future as long as we're still here. So again, what do you think? Anyway, the Anunnaki realized that as the time passed by, it was more difficult to be on Earth. And another thing, why during the destruction of Tartary did they get rid of all the bells and hide all the organs, take all the music instruments, and kill off the elders? Think about it. They knew that their vibration was changing. The first to realize was Enki. So he decided to do several things before leaving Earth. One of them was visiting the Atlanteans in America and giving them the technology to build great stone buildings. The second thing was creating a secret society in Egypt at which he would not only teach science to humans, but also the secrets of the universe, the spirit, death, and matter, the brotherhood of the white dragon was born. To which I didn't want to mention the white dragon and serpent people. I didn't want to. But he was alluding to some of that. And I've heard his takes on some of that. And there's a good 75 books on the subject. Now, some of them were actually destroyed or written out. But some family held the original text and they were reprinted. Matter of fact, around like 1975 and 1990. So, and they were not being sold in like the major bookstores that existed at that time. I think it was only 2, right? If I remember right. Anyway. And the last thing he did was discover the chosen people of Enlil, since he had discovered that his brother had a group of very loyal humans and that at some point he was going to use them one way or another. So he tried to recruit some of these humans at the back of Enlil, which was very hard. However, he managed to recruit several of them and led them to the western shore of the Dead Sea, where he founded a town known as the Essenes. Do y'all know anything about the Essenes? Not the biblical. There's nothing wrong with that narrative, but it's totally different from the Bible, y'all. You need to look into the Essenes. This is the last one. It's a short paragraph, about eight lines. The Draconians were furious because of the vibration change of the earth. They knew that sooner or later they would have to abandon it. Due to that, why am I always telling you, you must raise your frequency? Your frequency is low. It's tapping at the door of 2. He thought Anu and Enlil rituals. He taught Anu and Enlil rituals so that humans could communicate with them. Only that there was a problem. These rituals would only work if the communication was between different dimensional levels and only on specific days along the year. Now you might know why they stopped 13 seasons and created 12. Why from 365 they made 364, yet they got leap year, daylight savings time. There's a whole controversy with even the moon and the sun's trajectory. And I'm starting to hear people talk about it looks like the moon had a great war on it. Wonder where that came from. It's not ego, I'm just serious. What are they starting to pay attention to in their readings is what I'm curious about. The moon's surface is a war zone, people. Regardless of how you feel, it is. What you doing, man? Man, I be licking your nuts in front of me. Anyway, the Behold the Pale Horse, William Cooper. Okay. Now, last time when we left off of here, we were dealing with the study group's members. You see, all made up names, regardless of what we believe. The second phase meetings were also held at the Marine base at Quantico, Virginia. I've been there too many times. And the group became known as Quantico 2. And Nelson Rockefeller, Nelson Rockefeller built a retreat somewhere in Maryland for Majesty's 12. That's a fact. And the study committee. It could be reached only by air, and in this manner, they could meet away from public scrutiny. Now, this secret meeting place is known by the code name, the Country Club. Bush and them. Complete living, John Kerry. Complete living, eating, recreation, library, and meeting facilities exist at the location. The Aspen Institute is not the Country Club, people. Anyway, the study group was publicly terminated in the latter months of 1956 because Henry Kissinger wrote what was officially deemed the result in 1957 as Nuclear Weapons and Foreign Policy. Published for the Council on Foreign Relations by Harper and Brothers in New York. In truth, the manuscript had already been 80% written while Kissinger was at Harvard. Now, the study group continued, veiled in secrecy. That is, a clue to the seriousness Kissinger attached to the study can be found in statements by his wife and his friends. Many of them stated that Henry would leave home early each morning and return late each night without speaking to anyone or responding to anyone. It seemed as if he were in another world that held no room for outsiders. Now, these statements are very revealing, mind you, and the revelations of the alien presence and actions during the study must have been a great shock. Henry Kissinger was definitely out of character during this time. He would never again be affected in this manner, no matter the seriousness of any subsequent event. On many occasions, though, he would work very late into the night after having already put in a full day. This behavior eventually led to divorce. Now, one paragraph is all I'm going to do. A major finding of the alien study was that the public could not be told. It was believed that this would most certainly lead to economic collapse, a collapse of a religious structure, mind you, and national panic, which could lead into anarchy. Now, secrecy thus continued, and an offshoot of this finding was that if the public could not be told, Congress could not be told as well. Now, funding for the projects and research would have to come from outside the government. And in the meantime, money was to be obtained from the military budget and from CIA confidential, non-appropriate funds. Doesn't that take you to the Iran-Contra and all that other stuff? The fact that, remember, it was not the people of Mexico or Cuba or none places down there that created cocaine. It was what was his name? Wessinger. What was the guy's name? The Jew, the fake Jew that created the cocaine, extracted the cocoa, and made that strain of cocaine to which everybody was utilizing. It made the opium stronger. Remember, what was his name? He had black glasses, a little weirdo with a bald spot, low testosterone. Okay? Scientists. And then what they do when they get that? First, it affected the Palestinians, and then Vietnam came along. Whoo-wee. That created a host of problems, and many boyfriends, husbands, girlfriends, wives introducing it to their significant other. And oh my goodness. Right now, the biggest serial killer in the world is the melanated woman. And they're very right about that. I don't like to broach upon that. I used to argue about that. And then when you start showing pictures and the numbers, then all the sisters get quiet. Our numbers are supposed to be greater than all numbers. And I told you the earth is not overpopulated. They are bugging because they realize that these dumb nigresses are going to keep going and getting these abortions, all stupid and everything, following these dumb hybrid and peckerwoods. That's the only thing that really gets me, as if it's something. Like I told you had Tasha Z talking about, the perm, the weaves, and all that. What sister, if they knew true history, would allude to that nonsense? And then every time you turn around, you see sisters putting weave and crap in their head. It's like, stop, give yourself 6 months to a year and don't think about it. Allow yourself, especially these sisters that profess and claim they got all this love. That tells me otherwise. The Facebook syndrome with the 2 cats on the, on the ship that the little submersible supposedly imploded on. Titanic, right? Yeah. And then behind closed doors, fur balls flying everywhere. I'm just saying, y'all. Dysfunctional as it may sound, there's a lot of truth. Well, I appreciate y'all. It was a great line Westside had. I didn't forget. I was wasn't paying attention to time. I was like, damn it, what time is it? And I said, let me go check messages, my SMS. Notifications were off. And there it was. And I was like, oh, let me get situated. And it was good. It was another good one, brother. That's what's up. Her too, but we'll talk about that. What was that? I know one who had 8 damn serial killers. Oh yeah, we knew a whole bunch of them. Sadly, in ignorance. Hey, Hombre French, it's new. I got you, baby. Gotta remember the dude back at C40s who said the world would be a better place if we just blew the moon. Thank you, Wild Indian. I appreciate that. Yeah, that seems Traumahawk. What's going on, beloved? It's good to see y'all up in here. All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. It's not. I'm waiting for no hour. I gotta run out to the store. It looks like it might rain again, and all right. And so we'll definitely be on tomorrow AM, and getting a read in. Let me make sure. What was the? Excuse me, guys. Let me see here. Why in the world? Okay, there we go. And what is that? Why is it doing this, man? My apologies, guys. This thing is so retarded. So anyway, I know tomorrow's the day. A lot of you guys are gonna go to work and all that. And that's, you know what I mean? Hey, Max, what's going on? I still been Phil shifting his stance regarding who we are. No, he knows who we are. No, you gotta look at some of his videos. But that Moorish shit gets me. But remember what I said? Feelings and emotions aside, regardless of what we perceive, it's good to hear the information. Never shoot a gift horse in the mouth or strike down the information, because there's puzzle pieces everywhere. And he knows who we are. He elaborated on that 6 times, you know. But the problem is, some people are, depending on whether he's in Florida, you know, regardless of where he came from, and their narrative is painted by the system that many people still gravitate to because of people pushing narratives. You know what I'm saying? So we have to maintain the fact that we can be disciplined. That's the only reason why I asked the questions I did, because I have all the information and a little more. I just wanted to see what he painted. It's not a competition, and I liked his response. Do due diligence and time. That's why I say patience is important. You know what I mean? And we have to learn how to be able to sit down at the table, because everybody we sit at the table with is not going to agree, or their information is not going to be the same. So am I wrong, or is he wrong? How about nobody's wrong? How about we elevate? We share the information. Shared information is a wealth of what? It's a wealth of knowledge. For what? Growth. Shared information is a wealth of knowledge. We can refute many things later, but shared information is a wealth of knowledge for growth. Growth means you can dismiss based on references to sources that are key factors, or you can accept, which will help ascension. Okay? So all the rah-rahs, because I'm tired of men not being man. And if I gotta get in the ring with some people and bop them, remind them that you can throw a punch, but sometimes you gotta remember, when you get hit back, you gotta know what you're standing in front of. We must be men. Y'all must be man. You dig what I'm saying? And woman. Most important. And you gotta shake off what these bastards have done. This stuff is deep. And the thing about burning and all that, that pain and suffrage is in you. So harness that energy. Ball it up. Don't compartmentalize it. Just lay somewhere, because that's strength. You feel me? Oh, it's strength. You'd be surprised how fast you can move when you allow yourself to be free, in absence of the illusion. All right, brothers and sisters? It's getting dark outside. I'm not wearing glasses, but I still don't like, sometimes I gotta put them on in the nighttime. I gotta let go of that, because my vision is actually very, 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 I would say, I was always 10/20. So 2010, yeah. No, excuse me. 2040, excuse me. Nearsighted, 2040. See, I don't remember, because I really don't need glasses, but because they're better, the glasses are really weak. Oh, it's straining. So I'm nearsighted. I can, see far away. I can see far away now because of what I've been doing over the last few years. Yeah, I told you. You can make corrections, people. All right? Anyway, check y'all out in the AM. Nothing but love. And the West Side, excellent live. Everybody that was in there, it was great. I shared it because I didn't see a lot of people. It was wonderful to see y'all on there. There was many more, and he had some people that he knew came in there. It was a beautiful thing, unintrusive, and information is a wealth of knowledge. For what? Catch y'all in the AM.